My name is Rūdolfs Cešeiko. I'm exercise physiologist and the leading expert at the exercise oncology clinic based in Riga, Latvia. Also, I'm the lecturer at the Riga Student University and advisor for the Outdoor Against Cancer organization. I have an opinion both from the scientific point of view and from my personal point of view, experiencing it all back in 2010 when I was diagnosed with a cancer.
I am Petra Thaller. I'm the founder of Outdoor Against Cancer, a breast cancer survivor and a firm believer in the power of healthy habits for physical and mental well-being. We at OAC promote a holistic approach to health based on our 4 key pillars: physical activity and outdoor sports, balanced nutrition, sustainability and nature, and physical and mental well-being. We believe in the power of rebellion for independence, personal responsibility, education, and empowerment.
So welcome in Latvia. It's good to have you here. And
Finally,
yeah. And it's an amazing story how it started, right?
yeah, we got this invitation to
this precision medicine conference, like
Yes.
Last year, summer, back in 2023.
And I should talk a little bit more about this advocacy thing and physical activity.
Yeah.
And you had the role of the
exercise
exercise
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And actually, I was really happy about that section because it's kind of the more the medical and drug stuff conference, and they included the part of the exercise. I thought, yes, finally. And that me and you, we would present that sections, but in the last moment they cut out our session due to some political issues. But as you can see, our communication continued, right?
yeah, the thing is, if you have a common goal,
Yeah.
and you find someone who is thinking the same way, then you have to stick on that person.
Exactly.
I think. If you are convinced, and science gives us you are proved, then you should collaborate with people. And what I am convinced of is that, especially when it comes to treating recommendations and physical activity, we have to collaborate on a European or a global level.
Yeah.
So because we know so many things, scientifically proven and based, and there are almost no offers for the patients, right?
It is, that's the way it is. And by the way, I'm certified OAC outdoor exercise trainer.
Yeah, because we have that.
Yep, and last summer we started those outdoor exercise sessions. Before that, we were kind of really focused on targeted exercise at the clinic, which is very good and important. But we were missing this outdoor exercise activities, and we've been doing this for 1 year already, and it's been a huge appreciation in our community that unites the people with the diagnosis, and also the relatives come in, the children, and you can see how the exercise connects people.
Which brings me to another point, because you were talking about that brings the family and the friends. So cancer is not only the disease of the person who has the diagnosis.
It is.
It's the disease of the social environment as well.
Yep, exactly.
And if they are seeing, sorry for interrupting you, but if they see that the patient is able to be physically active, they can support this person so much more.
Yeah, and the family is very, very important, and that we see outdoor training sessions, and that helps not to focus on disease, but to focus on the health, and exercise really help that. And we really do high intensity interval training, so it's not anything light and easy, so it helps. And a year ago, many people were walking in a slow pace. 1 year later, pretty much everyone has increased the pace. Now all the group is jogging, and the new people are joining every weekend, and we have done this through all the year, and we will continue to do it. Surprise, surprise.
So next time they have this precise medicine conference here in Latvia, they will invite us again.
Yeah, I'm sure. Or we will create our exercise conference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Rūdolfs, you were 22 when you got your diagnosis. How was your life before cancer?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I was diagnosed with a stage 3 lymphoma 2010. It's like 14 years ago. The life before that were good. I had everything. I did a lot of sports. I had many friends, and I did very good at the school. But however, something was missing.
What do you think was missing?
That's a very good question. I think it's a very crucial question. I think the missing, I missed actually myself during that time, during the childhood time, even though it was great. But this self-knowledge and self-understanding and acceptance, that's what really was missing. And I think that was the cornerstone of the other challenges that I had, even though the life was good. But this played a significant role. At least that was the reason in my case, I think. What about you?
Yeah, for me it was like I was much older than you, almost 30 years older, so 54. And for me it was like I was hustling all the time. So I was running around, I had to feed my family, I had to earn money, but I also wanted to do my sports stuff, so running in the mountain, go ski mountaineering. And so I had the impression that I was doing too much. I was always stressed because I wanted to be perfect in a way. So the perfect mom, the perfect sportswoman, the perfect person being at work. So I think this was very stressful for me. And perhaps this was a reason why I need this stop.
Mm-hmm. I can reflect on my journey also. That's the stress and then on always the need being perfect and achieve in a track and field that I did, even though I was quite good at that, doing the decathlon, and the winning was the only option, and that of course put a lot of stress on me, and I think that's where we struggle a lot, and nowadays probably we see the same. So generally the stress is the main bad factor.
Yeah, in a way, I think this before diagnosis thing about stress, you were not aware of that, right? No, completely not, and no one didn't pull me aside and started that kind of conversation. How do you feel? Are you okay? Is everything okay with you? How's the life going? Are you happy with yourself? And I think I really missed that kind of questions. I can say that probably my family could do that work and engage in that conversation even more. That would help me a lot during the school years. But I didn't realize that. Can you reflect on that? Do you find that in a similar way in your story? Yeah, the thing is, if I would describe myself, I would say I'm a strong person and I don't like to be weak. So strength was always, my whole life long, was something I really wanted to achieve. I wanted to be strong. Even when I was suffering, I showed everybody that I'm strong. But this really has a huge bad impact on your physical life as well.
Yeah. And then the diagnosis. Can you go back and kind of see what really changed, how this diagnosis changed you? Does it change something in your life? Because that's a complicated situation to deal with.
Yeah, the diagnosis was something I was expecting, to be honest. I was on expedition and I did this access to the Carstens Pyramid in Papua New Guinea, but I was always tired. I lost, I think, 8 to 9 kilos because I was not eating enough. And while the others were sitting around the fireplace, I was sleeping. So I knew that there is something wrong. And when we climbed the Carstens Pyramid and the peak beside, we went back, and there I had an accident. I threw my backpack over a small river, and I tried to catch it, and I threw my right breast to a stone, and it was swollen like this. And yeah, perhaps I was also a lucky person, because this was the reason why I went to the doctor, and then they diagnosed cancer. And from that moment on, yeah, my life changed a little bit, but I would say in a good way. And about you?
It's a similar story. I didn't expect the diagnosis. I didn't knew the cancer as a disease before. It wasn't in my surrounded community. But looking back, I can really reflect on the feelings and the situations in my body that have led to that. Also some issues with the body weight. At one point, I gained the body weight, and that I was not happy with that, and I started to do the huge amount of exercise, and then I lost a lot of body weight, and many allergic things started to appear that has not been part of my body before. So that kind of was strange. Also felt quite fatigue during the days, but at the same time I didn't recognize it as some kind of problem, because I was doing the sports a lot. I started my studies at the business school. Occasionally I was smoking and partying, and that was the logical consequence of that. That was I thought. But once after the gym, I looked at my shoulders and in this area around the neck, and I saw that there is some kind of enlargement. Okay. And I noticed that might be some kind of problem. And then, knowing that there is a problem, and that there is a cancer, a lymphoma, many things changed.
But what was in that moment? Were you super shocked, or how did you react on that? If the doctor is telling you, come on, Rūdolfs, you have cancer?
It's a very good question, and very important question. I didn't understand how serious actually it is at the beginning, and it took me a while to process that. But once I processed that, I realized it is cancer. It's something serious. I was not afraid. I was actually finally taking the responsibility in my own hands, and said to me that, okay, let's go through it. It's gonna be challenging. There will be a medication, a chemotherapy, with the side effects, but it's gonna do their work. And I took the courage and the strength in my own hands. Actually, I was empowered by that. It may sound strange.
No.
That's good that
No, it's not
you
strange.
say that.
No.
Because I think it's very important. And at that time I felt this is my responsibility, and let's go through it.
Yeah, for me it was exactly the same. Exactly.
Very
because
good.
I was also thinking, oh, come on, I have 2 children at home. I don't want to be the suffering mom. I'm strong. And I took a lot of things in my own hand. And
Exactly.
I stayed on track being a mom, being responsible for the household and everything. And I wanted to do that. Even people were telling me, you should rest more, you should do this and you should that. Then they sent me books about raspberries against cancer, and I was like, come on guys, you don't believe that raspberries help against cancer. So for me it was like, I really tried to cut off all these recommendations from people. I don't know whether this happened to you, but for me it was like, I know someone who died on cancer, or I know someone who died on cancer. I said, okay, you know those guys, but I don't want to hear stories like this because I will live. This was my idea.
And that is the very important decision to say to yourself. And looking back, basically the same months, once I found out the diagnosis, I started my studies at the medical university, Riga Stradiņš University, and at the faculty of rehabilitation. And there was no time to be sad. There was things that needs to be done, and the medical studies require a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine, to be honest, because there is so many out there. Life is happening in that moment. Because I was older, I had the experience that you cannot postpone everything. So life is happening now while we are sitting here in talking about the diagnosis. So we cannot postpone anything. So this was also my experience during the phases of the diagnosis, that I have to continue my life. And for me, I can say I really wanted to continue my life. I even didn't want to talk about I could die or something bad could happen. This was not I never had that in mind.
Not part of your DNA.
No, definitely not.
But that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And also at the onset of the diagnosis, it is very, very important not to identify yourself with that, and that's what I did. And at the same time, I started at the beginning of the diagnosis, I started to appreciate the life itself, the life I had before, even though I was not so happy. I started to appreciate everything, and I kind of slowed down the pace of my life. So that was the beginning of this cancer journey.
Yeah, that's just great. For me, it was almost similar.
We are on the same track.
So when you go back to the first chemotherapy, how was it for you?
Well, I remember it very well. Even though it was many years ago, I was scared. And I remember my father was with me. And the first chemotherapy session they typically do at the hospital. So to see how your body will react. And I remember once I got the first couple of small milliliters of the chemotherapy, I kind of got a little bit dizzy. But then the nurse came and she said everything's okay, so don't be afraid. The first chemotherapy kind of started this treatment journey, and I felt quite good after the first chemotherapy session, even though you kind of start to notice how it's gonna be, and you can get an idea. So it's gonna build up this dizziness and nausea and not so good feeling. But the first chemotherapy was a turning point. So, and I understood that, the treatment journey has started, and I kind of entered to another pace in my life. I was really focusing on myself. That was the beginning.
I remember, I remember the first chemotherapy. I went to a place, to a practitioner, and the guy who installed everything, he was a smoker. And at that moment it was like, he wants to help me and he has yellow fingers. This I can remember. So it was like, to be honest, it was disgusting. Yeah. And I was sitting there, and I was sitting and sitting and sitting, and then it was over. And then I went home. I went for a run, and nothing happened. It was like nothing happened. But 1.5 days later, a lot of happened. I was really tired. But when I got to the second chemotherapy, the same place, I decided to change it. Because this guy with his smoking fingers, I couldn't stand it. So I went to the oncologist and I said, you know what? Either you change this breast cancer nurse, or I have to leave the treatment here. And I think this is also very important. If you feel that there is something not right, you have to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely, especially at the beginning in the treatment and along all the treatment, because it's such an important and sensitive period of the person's life, and all the surroundings should be as supportive as possible. Of course, it's not possible all the time, but they should try to do their best. Once the treatment progressed to the second, third chemotherapy, and with all the examinations along that, did you notice any changes in the way you feel, any side effects, and do you remember how you deal with them?
For me, it was like, for example, when I was much younger, I did a training in the United States. It was called NIA.
Oh,
it's for physical activity training, so I did this training there. And there, the people were a bit more spiritual. Yeah, they were like grounded and Dunkin' dance, and this came back to my mind. So I was like, perhaps I didn't do this training in the United States. I did it for a reason. So I tried to reflect, but I'm not this person who always reflects on what she's doing. But I strongly believe that there is a lot of energy out there, and that also pushy persons like me and you, I guess you're the same, that we have to stop sometimes. Sometimes we really have to, we need a break. And
definitely.
we have to tell ourselves the truth. Perhaps it's not always necessary to be that strong, and that you also have the right to rest and to be more, as you said, you told me, and this is very interesting, you have a better access to spirituality, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. The chemotherapy sessions, and once I continue with the treatment, it opened another doors for me. That was the new and unseen world and self-knowledge. Important is that I continue my exercise routine with adaptations, of course. But the exercise was very important during my treatment, and looking back, it was the best decisions that I made. But the biggest impact was really this self-knowledge, self-discovery through the spirituality kind of questions, and I started to ask myself who I am, who I want to be, who I really am. If I put aside my previous experience, the things that I have learned in my country, in my culture, who I really am and what's my pure nature. And that was mind-blowing for me. And
it's super complex. Sorry for
is
interrupting you.
super
It's super complex.
Exactly.
If you're thinking about who am I
exactly.
and how do I feel, I think it would be great if everybody would ask he, her, itself, who am I?
Yep, exactly. And I started to try to find answers on these questions and different kind of literature, texts. I didn't look up for them, they just flew to my direction, and I was absorbing them. And I noticed that once I started to read them, my quality of sleep significantly improved, and that was very, very good. And also I allowed myself to rest more. I wasn't so harsh to myself, and perhaps you've done the same. That you can be more gentle to yourself, especially during the treatment. I didn't lie to the sofa all the time, but there was a time for the chemotherapy, time for the exercise, and also time for the rest and being out in the nature, and also thinking about what kind of quality food I put into my body, because before that that wasn't the thing I was thinking much. So all the stuff really changed a lot.
Yeah, for me, nutrition was there was the first vegetarian whole wheat
fresh juice
book in 1982 or 3, and I bought this book, and I remember that my father told me, hey, you cannot put honey into a whole grain cake, and I did, but I can do that, and I did it, but you cannot eat it. And then he said, oh, it's not that bad. And suddenly he started to also do things like that. So I was always interested in nutrition, and it was also like I always wanted to fuel my body with the right stuff, to be strong, to be honest, to be slim and to be strong. I'm a bit vain. I'm a vain person, so I like to be good. Yeah. So I was thinking a lot about nutrition, but when we come back to your spirituality and to sleep quality, I recognize that Sarah and Joshua, they were in this partying age. So they invited also friends to our house, and usually I tried to stay with them. But that time I went to bed at 9, and everybody was asking me, what's going on though? Why are you going to bed? Because I like to sleep. And now, 9 years later, sometimes I go to bed at 9. I really enjoy it, and I sleep the whole night, and I get up at I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I feel great. So this changed a lot, because I always was the last guest on a party, but now I'm not anymore.
I didn't miss also the good parties, so I stayed socially active during all the treatment, and you see, we have a couple of things in common: exercise, nutrition, also the mental health, and being into the society, being surrounded with the good people, and taking care of the body, and respecting the feelings that you have during the treatment, because they were not always positive, right? It was not easy.
No, it was definitely, treatment is not easy. But what I also recognized is that I'm a lucky person, for example, because I feel myself. I always felt myself.
That's important.
I know now I can do this and this and that, and now I can't do this and this and that. And from my work with cancer patients, survivors, like you are doing that the same, I have the experience that sadly a lot of people are lacking this contact to themselves. They are just repeating what people are telling them instead of thinking, feeling, and perhaps doing then the people are telling them. But not everything is for everybody the right thing.
Yeah, you're right. That was my missing link. I didn't feel myself. Yeah. I didn't feel the connection with my body, and my mind was not connected with the body, even though I was quite good at the sport and I was able to control my body, but there was not this appreciation and understanding of the system itself. I was way too hard to myself, and that's what I learned at the beginning also, is listen to yourself, respect the body, and kind of really be flexible in your own skin, and that has helped me a lot, definitely. Yep.
So the learning curve was
great.
Well,
skyrocketed.
Yes. So when it comes to physical activity and cancer, I felt it. I did it. And hopefully we inspire a lot of people. But you as a scientist, why does physical activity helps cancer patients during therapy and afterwards?
Yeah, there is some magic in the physical activities, right? This personal story with the cancer opened me many doors and many experiences in terms of education. I was quite lucky to study exercise physiology in Norway with amazing professors that really opened me this world in exercise physiology when you look in about it in a more systemic way. And then you can dissect and see what kind of exercise really helps for the performance and also for the health. Finishing that, the new ideas come in, and also this field exercise oncology is really developing. And I'm quite happy that I has a role in contribution in this field. And we have an explanation. The science, the clinical research results can demonstrate what actually works and why it works in all these three aspects in the prevention, because the exercise is not just a movement. There are happening really a lot of biochemical processes into your body when you exercise in a proper way. And it's not a big surprise, even though many practitioners do not know it. Exercise is a fundamental part of cancer treatment, and it is included in European Society for Medical Oncology guidelines. So, and that is the green light for us as specialists, and also for organizations that support and talk about exercise in oncology, that we can use it. It's allowed, it's not separated, it works in a synergetic way with the prescribed treatment. And many mechanisms can explain and support that.
So when it comes to exercise, you are only able to exercise if your body is fueled in the right, proper way.
Exactly.
So it means if you have a balanced nutrition, then you are stronger. What do you think about that?
I agree. The treatment itself and physical inactivity that mostly follows to that, that it requires to fuel your body with the proper food, proper nutrition. And once you have an energy, you want to exercise, and you definitely need to exercise.
And then you need the place where you can exercise.
Yes.
So we are coming now to pillar 3 of OAC. It's sustainability in nature. So if your environment, I guess, is not enhancing you to be physically active, you stay at home.
Yep.
So.
And that's what we want to avoid. Inactivity is the number one thing we want to avoid.
Yeah, so it's very important that either you're living in rural areas or urban areas, that you choose green and blue spaces around you where you can be physically active.
Exactly, and it should not be complicated, because the natural movement of the human body is the walking, faster or slower, light jogging perhaps, and all these activities are very suitable during the treatment. You can pick your own pace and working in the nature. You don't need fancy clothes, just a little bit of motivation, and the nature will do the work, and the body will also do the work and will recover.
How do you think that a healthy environment in terms of green and blue spaces, as I said, or also desert, if it's healthy, how does it influence your will to be physically active?
I think a lot. It can give you the proper stimulus to take action and make your decision much more easier. And if you see the beautiful nature and around you, it's more likely you will go outside moving. But the first step, you need to take your own hand and take yourself outside. You need to take decision, and the first decision, this first initiative, takes a lot of strength.
Yeah, I always said the most important step is the step in front of your own house door.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You have to take this step, and then we have 4 pillars at OAC. We have this physical and mental well-being. It's like not physical and mental strength, it's well-being. You feel well. So how is the mental well-being connected to physical well-being?
I think connected in the most possible direct way. I did my exercise because of my mental health. It helped me to keep my mental health in a good way, so that I can tolerate my studies and think about the healing. These both things go hand in hand, and also for physiological processes that happen into the body. You get more oxygen while you're exercising. The volume of the blood that your brain receives significantly increases. So you basically get this dosage of minerals, nutrients. So and it really can change the way you think, the way you feel yourself, and it kind of helps also to relax the body. That's what I have seen in my journey, and for many of the patients that we work daily in our clinic. So there's a huge link in that.
Yeah, it's also like that mental well-being or mental health, in a way, influences the immune system.
Yep.
And what is, if your immune system is better, then the outcome of the therapy is much better, right?
Exactly, and also the exercise can work as a therapeutic agent that can also can help the treatment, the chemotherapy agents to go more directly into the tumor because of the blood flow and other things that happen within the time we exercise. So there are many pluses, and if you think you move enough, you probably don't.
Yes, you can't. I think you can't move enough. But when it comes to these 4 pillars, it would be just perfect, I think, if they would be prescribed in parallel to the classical medical treatment, right?
We are working on that, and I think we are doing the right job. And during the job we do, we can show the results, show also the medical doctors that it is part of the treatment. So we need just to bring it in a light and really prescribe as a supplementary, as a mandatory part of the treatment, because the patients start to ask these questions. It's going to happen eventually, and then sometimes the patients are a couple of steps further than they are clinicians. So they will arise these questions, and it's a matter of time. Our job is to organize it much more faster.
Yeah,
right?
I think we have to join forces
Exactly.
on a European level, for example, or internationally, that we get this on track, that if you get your diagnosis today, they will give you the chemotherapy and the treatment plan for everything, but also this holistic, supportive plan that you know what to eat, how to exercise, that you get somewhere, that they take your hand and bring you there where you can get this super cool exercise recommendations and also meet other people, and then we will have a huge success while treating people.
Yeah, we're on the same page, and it's very, very interesting how our story is connected, right?
Yeah, I love it.
In a connection of the exercise.
Yeah.
And we can see that exercise is the central component, because once you start exercise, other things kind of naturally can take a right direction.
Yeah, yeah. I also had that in my group. In the first step, they came with a car. The second time, they were like, these people are coming with a bike, so next time perhaps I have to come with a bike, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember one cancer patient, Almut, she was always like, she was calling me, Petra, I had chemotherapy today, I feel a little bit tired. And I said, but you can walk to the place where we meet, and then you just join the group. And she always did some exercises.
Amazing.
And she was like, and then she was telling me, you know, every morning I go for a 10-minute walk. And every evening when I come back from work, I'll also go for a walk.
Exactly. That's what we want. Those behavioral changes are leading to something much more larger. And we have a very, very similar experiences in our exercise clinic. We offer a very specific and very adapted exercise protocols, and once the person starts to understand this importance of the exercise, what it actually means, what it means to increase the heart rate at a certain level, and how does the strength training actually feel in your body, and they start to notice the results, and they say that exercise has been the best kept secret, and they start to love it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I understand.
And then it changes everything.
Yes, exercise, just great. Yeah.
Very good. So let's continue.
Let's go ahead.
We have many things to do, but we're on the right track.
I think that too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.